great for service, it's great for food, the coffees are unbelievable.
The chicken pies are fantastic, big chunks.
Excellent pies, lovely pastries.
I like the steak and cheese, the chicken and mushroom and the chicken Thai curry.
Pie Face is not your ordinary pie shop. We are actually a bakery cafe, a small format bakery cafe. All the products that Pie Face carry are made centrally in our kitchen by our pastry chefs. To give you an idea of what we actually produce, you'll see on the right-hand side here all of our pies and sausage rolls. Those are all made from scratch daily in our kitchen. For franchisees, they simply need to bake the pies in the oven. It takes about 15 minutes to bake those pies. We also serve a variety of mini pies, and mini pies are very popular for office catering, for children's birthday parties. In the cold display, we have a variety of other products that are in the bakery cafe segment. For instance, all the sandwiches here are made daily by the franchisees. The bread comes in frozen, and the franchisees bake that bread each day, and they make up the sandwiches as required. We also have a lot of sweet product. We make all of our sweet pies from scratch as well in the kitchen. We have a chocolate pie, a lemon pie, an apple pie, a cherry pie. Across the top is really a variety of pastries and cookies and muffins and brownies. Again, all that is made from scratch in our central kitchen. So when you add all that up, that's a very, very rounded offer. It allows us to sell 24/7. Most of the product is frozen, so you only bake it when you need it. And as a result of those two things and the long operating hours, our wastage is probably some of the lowest in the industry.
It's good. It's very flavorful. It's pretty warm and hot, and I don't know, really good.
Worth coming all the way from New York for?
Absolutely.
It's really it's really comfort foody, comforting.
Okay, if we have a look here on the left, we've got pie production and sausage roll. You'll see here the pie machine. You've got the base pastry that comes through. They're hand filling. Then the top pastry comes on. It gets trimmed and comes through to be faced by hand.
The idea of putting faces on pies to determine the flavor really kind of strikes a chord with all types of people, from little kids that drag their parents into the grocery stores to the late night party people, coming out of the pubs at night. Female, male, old, young, Caucasian, Asian, Indian, you name it. It's basically they're all Pie Face customers.
So on this side of the kitchen, where we're making all the pastries, all the cake, sweet pie, cheese stick. So everything is done by hand. So they're all the lemon pie. So they're all going to be, they're all packed and freeze and sent to the shop.
The way the product arrives for you in store is that a lot of it comes frozen in boxes such as that. Cookies come in cookie logs, ready to chop and bake. Banana bread comes already in loaves. So really what you as a franchisee has to do is take the product out, thaw it, and then bake it. The oven actually has pre-settings on it, so that all the products that we have in store have a setting, and you literally turn the knob to that particular product, and then you press the button and it bakes it.
It's a business which is relatively simple to operate, but at the same time strong in profitability, which I think are very important. I mean, there are a lot of businesses out there which may be profitable, but they require a lot more commitment. You're sacrificing almost all of your own personal time. So I think Pie Face is unique, in my view, in that you have the best of both worlds.
One of the unique things about Pie Face's coffee offer is that we are possibly the only one in the world that actually offers coffee in strengths. We actually have 5 strengths with the faces associated with each strength. The Tingle My Toes is the weakest of the coffees, and the Kick My Ass is the strongest of the coffees.
The traditional problem with coffee making has always been the individual behind the coffee machine. For instance, in a 7-day week operation, a typical cafe would need approximately 3 baristas making coffee. Now, each barista has his own set of skills and generally not consistent with the next guy in the shop. And what we try to do with Pie Face was to remove the inconsistencies that generally detract from sales growth. Typically this is an example of a new generation super automatic machine that we've chosen for Pie Face. It has 2 hoppers, and each hopper has a different blend. The one on the left will have the soft blend, the one on the right the hard blend, and of course we have 8 different varieties taking into account both the regular and the large cup. You can steam the milk like a traditional machine. However, it will stop at the right temperature. So between the two, extracting the best possible taste out of the coffee and texturing the milk to the right temperature and in the creamiest possible way, and combining the two in a cup, we end up with a product which is far above what the market would expect in any local market for a pie-face store.
I have my coffee every morning. Most of our clients, we get our coffees from here with some sort of an arrangement to get catering.
Yeah, coffee pretty regularly, at least a couple of times a week.
And what's your favourite coffee? How do you have that?
Open my eyes. It usually helps to get the day underway.
One of the things that makes Pie-Face such a successful business model is what we call the store format. It's not very large, it's about 30 to 50 square meters. It has a limited amount of seating, which is helpful. It has all the display at the front so that customers see the product and they can actually buy with their eyes. As you can see at the back, there's not a lot of need for big work areas because really the product comes in ready to bake. So the only thing that really the franchisee needs to do on a daily basis is to bake and merchandise. The other thing about our format and the simplicity of the business model is that it allows for a minimum number of people in the shop. So even during very busy periods, there may only be 3 people working. But when things quiet down, you can go down to 1 person. And so on the whole, it makes for a very efficient business model and a very profitable business model.
When I started to look at all the boxes that were important to me and I started to tick all those boxes, I found that Pie-Face probably had all of them ticked that I was looking for.
I haven't been counting the days, but it's coming up to 6 weeks now, so we're in our 6th week at the moment. Yeah.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going well. Yeah. No, it's sort of really hit the ground running. It really took off from day one.
I wanted a company that controlled their own product supply. I've seen too many chains that are actually relying on third-party supply, and there's a lot of issues with that. Whereas because Pie-Face control the whole A to Z of the product side of things, it's really only a phone call if it's a problem. So that was extremely important. The third thing that was extremely important to me was the labour model, because in Australia the labour component is such a significant part of your cost base that if that's wrong, then it's very hard to establish yourself. And with Pie-Face I found that the labour component was, you could basically run a normal sized franchise store with what I call a husband and wife team.
There's a lot of hard work. You've got to do your research, but at the same time, if you follow the concept and the 4 F's that they put in place, if you follow those simple steps, you can't go wrong.
Our staff as well as our franchisees can actually log online into what we call Pie-Space, and it teaches them everything from workplace hygiene and food safety, which is extremely important because obviously we're in the food industry, to opening procedures, closing procedures, how to bake a pie, how to make a chicken sandwich, etc., everything. Then we physically actually get them in store, whether it's staff or whether it's franchisees in store, and we actually physically apply what they've learned. So we show them how to make a baguette, we show them how to bake a pie, we get them to practice food safety and workplace hygiene while they're doing it, so they're washing their hands, they're cleaning up after themselves and things like that. The beauty of Pie-Face in terms of what business experience you've actually had prior to actually entering into a Pie-Face franchise is that you don't need it really. You just need to be a hard worker because we will provide all of that for you. So we will actually, payroll for example, we have a system where we work with a company called IWS. They will do all your payroll. So that's really good. So that's a large component of weekly business.
You can pick up the phone and know that the individual on the other end is committed as you are to making it work.
It gives you a lot more time to concentrate on your customers, which is ideally what you want to be doing.
Pie-Face is currently in 3 markets. We're predominantly in Sydney, where we started. We've launched in Melbourne at the end of last year, and we've also just opened a store in Canberra. Our plans are to go national. We actually have the ability to supply all over the country now, and really what we're looking for are the right franchisees to take us into those markets. For the right people, we'll pretty much go anywhere in Australia, and probably New Zealand for that matter. So really, our objective here is to find people with passion, with the right sort of work ethic, with a commitment to success, and people who actually can see the attractiveness of what we're offering.